Good evening and welcome to today's bulletin, the last day of July, the year 2022. We are getting closer to the August polls, just 8 days to go. Tonight we focus on taming online hate speech. I will be engaging Commissioner Danvers Makori of the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, plus a lot that we have lined up for you in our comprehensive news bulletin. But first, our top stories. Traffic congestion solution. The Nairobi Expressway and Nairobi Eastern Bypass officially opened for use. Sham offensive. Kenya Kwanza sells economic recovery agenda. Azimio La Umoja denounces tribal politics as campaigns hit home stretch. Celebrating forest rangers. On World Ranger Day, we shed the spotlight on mangrove conservation at the Kenyan coast. Once again, welcome to the broadcast. My name is Serfine Achieng. Now, on to our top story. President Uhuru Kenyatta on Sunday officially launched Kenya's iconic Nairobi Expressway after 2 months of a successful public trial. The president also commissioned the revamped Nairobi Eastern Bypass, which includes 5 new major vehicular crossings and 6-lane dual carriageways at the busy sections of the road. Speaking after launching the major projects, President Kenyatta emphasized that infrastructural development is key to opening up opportunities for Kenyans.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has expressed optimism that the Nairobi Expressway and the Bypass Road will significantly address the nightmare of traffic grindlocks in Nairobi, estimated to cost the nation over 5 billion Kenyan shillings annually in lost productivity, time and wastage fuel.
Since we opened the roads for public trials in April, it now takes between 15 to 24 minutes to drive all the way from Mulolongo in Machakos County to Rironi in Kiambu County. Before the expressway, that would have been a journey that would take at least 3 hours, which if you calculate is the equivalent of flying from Nairobi to Addis Ababa and back again.
The head of state noted that in the short time the Nairobi Expressway has been open for trials, it has already proven its worth by ushering in an era of reduced travel time, increased mobility, reduced congestion and enhanced productivity.
We have exceeded the number of vehicles that were expected by a higher margin, meaning that the returns from this project may be even achieved much sooner than had previously been projected.
President Kenyatta said the expressway has created a better business environment that will lead to more opportunities for the country's tourism, conferencing and hospitality sector, which employs over 3 million Kenyans directly and another 6 million indirectly. On the Eastern Bypass, President Kenyatta said the road plays a major role in directing traffic away from Nairobi's central business district, reducing travel time in and around the city. Chinese ambassador to Kenya, Zhong Pingjing, said China and Kenya share profound friendship under the strategic guidance and personal attention of President Kenyatta and President Xi Jinping.
The Nairobi Expressway has not only contributed to alleviating traffic congestion in Nairobi, but also given this beautiful city under the sun a big boost as a regional hub.
President Kenyatta retaliated that notable infrastructural development was achieved because of the peace and security that the country enjoys. The completion of the 27 kilometers Nairobi Expressway road is not only expected to elevate commuting experience, but also spur growth and development in the country for years to come. For Prime Edition, I'm Zainab Said.
Thank you, Zainab, for that report. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has challenged the Deputy President and his allies to stop crying foul when they are called out for what he termed as their lies. In a rejoinder to claims made by William Ruto and his running mate Rigathi Gachagua that their lives are in danger, the head of state said he is within his rights as a Kenyan to support his preferred presidential candidate.
The president and his deputy have been on different political paths for the better part of the second term in office. The gloves too have been off, at least in recent months. But it is the latest lamentations by William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua that their lives are in danger that has triggered a direct response from the president.
Umenitusi karibu miaka 3, kuna mtu amewaguza. Hiyo miaka 3 nimekuwa kwa kiti. Si nilikuwa na uwezo. Sasa wakati naenda kupatiana serikali na sina uwezo, ndio niko na time ya kukutafuta.
The president has in recent months challenged William Ruto and his political allies to stop with the insults and disinformation in their efforts to win support.
Piga story yako, uza sera zako, wachana na mimi. Mimi nafanya kazi yangu, nimalize. Nyinyi muende muombe kura. Wananchi wakiwapatia sawa, wakiwanyima, twende nyumbani pamoja. Shida iko wapi?
The president has been accused by his deputy of shielding Raila Odinga from the political onslaught, with Ruto alleging that the president's political shadow has made it difficult to take Odinga to task on issues pertaining to the next month's poll.
Kuna haja ya matusi jameni. Kila mtu, including myself, ako na uhuru wa kupigia debe yoyote ambaye anataka.
Now, on to matters politics. The Azimio La Umoja One Kenya coalition party has taken its presidential campaign to parts of the North Rift region, urging voters in Nandi and Uasin Gishu counties to rise above tribal politics and vote for Raila Odinga come August 9th. Raila and his running mate Martha Karua on Sunday challenged their competitors to stop whipping emotions and instead sell their agenda on why they should be trusted with the country's leadership.
In the final leg of their push for support, Raila Odinga and his running mate Martha Karua took the Azimio message to William Ruto's political bedrock. The duo addressed crowds in Nandi and Uasin Gishu counties, urging voters to look beyond tribal differences and buy into the Azimio manifesto. Odinga and Karua struck a conciliatory tone, urging their competitors to remain objective in their campaigns and avoid whipping emotions.
Wanatusi watu wanangoja mambo mauaji ili tukajaribu kupambasa wa Kenya. Lakini wao wenyewe walisema tu wajinga waliisha Kenya hii. Wajinga waliisha, walisema wajinga waliisha.
Mimi namuomba, kama unahofia maisha ya yeyote kwa nyumba yako, tafadhali wapatie askari wa kutosha, na kama hawatoshi, wewe bado ni umeajiriwa na serikali ya Kenya, uliza uongezewe. Lakini usiweke nchi kwa hali ambayo si nzuri, ukidai na unajua sio ukweli ya kwamba familia yako imo hatarini.
Raila expressed optimism that the government will ensure that the election environment remains safe to allow Kenyans to exercise their right to vote.
The right to vote is enshrined in our constitution.
Lakini tunaonya viongozi wote tuwe waangalifu na matamshi yetu isiwe ni ya kupotosha wa Kenya.
The Azimio Brigade asked voters to elect them into office, pledging to fight corruption and ensure prudent use of public resources. Some kilometers away in Kisii County, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka urged voters to vet politicians before electing them into office.
Mimi nilikuwa vice president wa Kibaki. Si ni kweli? Raila alikuwa prime minister. Martha Karua alikuwa waziri wa justice. Hawa watu wanajua kuendesha nchi.
Raila Odinga is expected to head back to Kisii County, Kisumu and Kakamega counties before convening a final rally in Nairobi County. Achola Simon, Sunday Express, Uasin Gishu County.
Now to Kenya Kwanza. Deputy President William Ruto has maintained that reducing the high cost of living remains his top agenda if the Kenya Kwanza camp wins the August polls. Speaking on the campaign trail in Western Kenya, Ruto said he will lower the cost of agricultural input and cut off brokers and cartels, frustrating farmers.
Nandi, Vihiga, Kakamega and Trans Nzoia counties Sunday played host to Kenya Kwanza's campaign trail. William Ruto rallied voters to elect candidates allied to Kenya Kwanza in the August 9th general election.
Ndio tumekuja hapa kuuliza kura yenu. Ndio tuweze kuunda hii serikali pamoja na nyinyi Kakamega. Mtatupatia kura zenu. Tuunde hii serikali pamoja. Tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8. Hebu nione wale wanasema tutatembea pamoja na kura zenu.
Ruto maintained that Kenya Kwanza has the best plans to revive the country's economy, even as he urged local administrators to maintain ethical standards in the run-up to next month's poll.
Kila mfanyikazi wa serikali kutoka chief mpaka yule mkubwa, kazi zao zinalindwa na katiba ya Kenya. Hakuna mtu atawadhulumu.
Sisi kama Kenya Kwanza, ndugu zangu, tumetembea Kenya mzima, na hapa Trans Nzoia na watolea kofia kwa sababu Trans Nzoia mko mbele.
Nataka nifanye usawa, kila mtu apate nafasi kufanya kazi kwa county government of Kakamega na sio marafiki zetu peke yake.
We are going to deploy 200 billion shillings every year so that we can grow our textile, our leather, our wood industries, manufacturing, agro-processing, value addition and housing, so that we can give an opportunity to the young people of our country to have jobs, to do business.
Ruto urged the Mulembe nation to support his presidential bid, saying he has taken into account the region's development needs.
Muamuke mapema kabisa. Kura yote imwagike kwa debe lake na kwa debe la Kenya Kwanza.
Kweli nimeamini, Kakamega nimeamini, kwamba nyinyi ni watu wanoma sana.
Kanchemenza for Sunday Express.
All right, and on that political note, we just have 8 days to go before we hit the August polls. A lot is happening right now, including remarks that are being made both on social media and out of social media. So tonight, we focus on how to tame online hate speech. In a bit, I will be engaging Danvas Makori, Commissioner of the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. Do stay with us for that conversation and more coming up in just a bit.
Mimi niko digital sasa. Nimepiga simu nikauza ng'ombe, sasa naweza lipia mtoto karo ya shule. Huyu sasa shule anasoma kompyuta. Na kama mtoto akigonjeka, napigia daktari simu. Huko hospitali nasaidika haraka.
Through the Universal Service Fund, USF, the Communications Authority of Kenya, CA, facilitates the provision of diverse communication services to every part of the country so that no one is left behind. The Communications Authority of Kenya, opening your world.
You happen to have a sister and you don't even do the least that you can to patch things up with her. Just try to get closer to her.
It's something that I really don't know how to explain at all. It's something that I feel inside my chest.
I ask you to forgive me.
I also came here to see my son so that I could apologize to him just as you did, my dear.
He has been widely described as the enigma in Kenyan politics.
For 50 years, Kenyans have wandered in the wilderness.
His critics are as eloquent as his supporters are in their praise.
when it was in the interest of the country that it was important for him to work with KANU for the benefit of the country, he did that.
As a seasoned politician, his stab at the presidency has been a case of so near yet so far.
They now have an opportunity through these elections.
But who is this man, Raila Odinga, through the eyes of the Kenyan youth?
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Remember also it's World Ranger Day today. Yusuf Farah got an interesting report that he filed for you, which will be coming in just a bit. But first, let's focus on more politics of the weekend. The National Council of Churches of Kenya, NCCK, has called on Kenya's top leadership not to plunge the country into a repeat of the 2007-2008 post-election violence for their own personal interest. Speaking at the East Africa Church of God, Bikeke, in Trans Nzoia County, North Rift National Council of Churches of Kenya leadership, led by Rasto Angatia, said the council is concerned about the heightened political temperature ahead of the poll.
With only 9 days left to the August 9 polls, the National Council of Churches of Kenya want leaders to tone down on political rhetoric and instead extend the message of peace.
Kenya inawategemea. Na hatutaki wao waanzishe mchakato wa kuleta vita hapa Kenya. Wakae chini wakubaliane, vile walikubaliana mwanzo wakakuwa marafiki. Wakuwe marafiki hadi mwisho na Kenya iendelee kuwa Kenya.
Their calls coming even as a section of Jubilee Party leaders from Kiambu County castigated Kenya Kwanza presidential candidate William Ruto and his running mate Rigathi Gachagua for attempting to whip up emotions ahead of the August 9 polls.
Watu wamesense defeat. Wameanza sasa kudistract their attention. Sisi, wana Jubilee na Azimio, tuna concentrate on 9th. Na tukitoka hapa sisi tutaenda kutafuta kura.
And what they want now is to whip emotions and sympathy vote so that they can win the general election. But we want to tell our people nobody is after any other person.
There is nobody in Jubilee who is attacking any other parties. Neither do we expect those other parties to attack us. And we ask them to follow the laid-down procedures of airing any grievances that they may have. We will not tolerate any more insults going forward.
In Kirinyaga County, 15 vehicles have been flagged off and will go to various stations within the county to help boost security.
Zile gari walikuwa wanapeana ni 1250, lakini ilikuwa ni ile lease ya miaka 4 imeisha. Kwa hivyo gari ukiletewa mpya unarudisha ile ulikuwa naye. Juu lease imeisha. Lakini sisi tukiwa na Kirinyaga tuko na bahati juu hata kama tunarudisha ile ya lease tumeongezewa zingine 12.
Ningependa kuhakikishia kwamba kazi itaamirika kabisa. Itaamirika kabisa. Na wahalifu chenyo chi motoni.
Interior Principal Secretary Karanja Kibisho said the government is committed to ensuring security for all Kenyans. Meanwhile, Mathare parliamentary candidate Benson Gunga has urged voters to elect credible leaders to deal with the state of joblessness in the slum.
Na hiyo ni mipango moja nataka kuongea na vijana, ni waweke kwa vikundi, wakiwa kwa hizo vikundi sikuwe registered by the government so that ile pesa ya youth and women empowerment na Uwezo Fund naweza tupa kidogo pale waweze kupata ndio waweze kujiinua.
Ngunga is set to battle it out against a host of candidates, some of who are vying under the Azimio umbrella. Ben Chumba, Sunday Express.
Now on to our special feature tonight. Every day in our forests, Men and women tasked with the sole mandate of protecting the country's forest cover put their boots on the ground to safeguard the vast natural resources from the enemies of nature. As the world celebrates the World Ranger Day today, our reporter Yusuf Farah joined rangers in Kwale and Mombasa counties on a patrol of the mangrove forests and brings us the story securing the mangroves.
Daybreak at the Gogoni Forest Station, Kwale County.
Officers fallen! To Damari!
Corporal Livingston Kitawi summons his rangers to the parade for the day's brief.
Today we'll be going to the mangrove areas.
After the instructions are communicated on the day's assignment, it is time to depart from the station. Our destination of the Shirazi Creek. This creek is home to a vast cover of mangroves, and it is the task of these rangers to ensure that no intruder comes in here to destroy the ecosystem.
Tukifika kwa area patrol kama hii, tunaanza kuangalia the possible destruction in that area.
Kwale County is a mangrove coverage that cuts across 8,500 hectares, translating to 14% coverage. Whenever the need for reinforcement arises during the patrols, Corporal Manajuma Muhammad and the rest of the team at the Kwale Forest Station come in to lend a helping hand.
Community kwa sababu wao ndo wanaishi karibu na misitu, wanatusaidia, wanatupa information, jambo la kwanza. Kwa sababu sisi tukiwa pale station hatuwezi jua nani sana anaingia msituni kuharibu.
Day 2, and we visit the Rangers counterparts based in Mombasa County. This county boasts of 3,800 hectares of gazetted mangrove forests. The forests are distributed mostly along Tudor, Portraits and Dropper creeks. Under the stewardship of Corporal Molim Makutanga, we set sail at the Tudor Creek. The service's modern boats move with precision, and the rangers on board are focused, eye on the lookout for any anomalies. Kenya Forest Service has endeavoured to restore previously encroached mangroves, which provide biodiversity hotspots and at the same time protect the shoreline from storm surges, hence the need to ensure they remain intact. The task at hand isn't, however, easy, and Mombasa County Forest Conservator Jennifer Nasombi tells me keeping the enemy away requires the service to be one step ahead.
Wengine hata wanaweka changardens, wanabrew changapo, wengine ni mbao ya kutengeneza hizi boats ya wakitumia kufanya fishing. Some of them, if you are not careful, they are armed.
Wakati anapambana na sisi, urefu wake mkubwa inakuwa ni kujitupa kwa maji. Ukisema utamwengeji kwa maji, huenda ikafanya hasara, maybe huenda akakufa kwa maji.
Corporal Mulimu Makutanga recalls a day when one of the patrol boats had a malfunction and was submerged.
Hakuna casualty alipatikana kwa boat, na tukajaribu venye tuweza kuhold position ya kila mtu, tukageuza chombo yetu, tukaita usaidizi from other agencies, na tukaweza kuokoleka, tukatoka salama.
The combined efforts to restore the mangroves have seen a total of 4,042 hectares of mangrove area restored in the 2021-2022 financial year. For the rangers, their passion drives them each day to keep pushing, and with the danger that comes with the nature of their work, the rangers hope that their tools of trade and manpower can be upgraded.
You can imagine you're patrolling in an area whereby ndovu ziko, nyoka wako, nyati wako, tena kuna milima.
Lady officers, sometimes we are deployed in very remote areas whereby to get our sanitary pads is a challenge.
Chief Conservator of Forest Julius Kamau says the service is dedicated to improving the livelihoods of the rangers and thanked them for their selfless sacrifices that put them at a risk of paying the ultimate price in the line of duty.
The service will explore and strive to engage our stakeholders in conservation sector to partner in supporting and appreciating our rangers on a day such as this.
Nikiamka asubuhi na nisitoke kuja kupatrol, naona ni kama siku yangu kuna kitu imemiss.
Tuzidi kujituma, tulinde misitu yetu kwa sababu Kenya yategemea misitu kwa kila kitu.
Kenya Forest Service Rangers go out each day with one mandate: the protection and conservation of Kenya's natural forest resources, including the mangroves. As we commemorate the World Rangers Day, the Rangers here are calling on individuals to exercise their personal responsibility in complementing their efforts. Yusufar reporting for KBC Channel 1 from the Tudor Creek in the county of Mombasa.
Happen to have a sister and you don't even do the least that you can to patch things up with her. Just try to get closer to her. It's something that I really don't know how to explain at all. It's something that I feel inside my chest. I ask you to forgive me.
I also came here to see my son so that I could apologize to him just as you did, my dear.
Oh, good evening. As always, it is an honor to have your company for KBC Sports with me, Richard Munga. Now, National Rugby Sevens team Shujaa went down 22-12 to Scotland in the 5th position to 8th position semi-final match at the ongoing Birmingham Commonwealth Games in the United Kingdom. The team was relegated to the classification matches after they lost 1-0 to New Zealand in the quarterfinals. They qualified for the quarters after winning 2 Group D matches against Uganda and Jamaica. Fiji will face South Africa in the final match tonight. Fiji defeated New Zealand 19-14, while South Africa overcame Fiji 24-12 in the semis. So far, Kenya has won a show of 2 medals, a silver and a bronze. The 2 medals came from the marathon race after Margaret Muriuki finished second in the women's competition, while Michael Githai finished third in the men's race. Don't miss the action live on KBC Channel 1. Meanwhile, Trailblazers enhanced their chances of topping the Kenya Volleyball League table after beating Prisons Kenya by 3 straight sets in the Volleyball League playoffs at the Nyayo National Stadium. Prisons Kenya took an early lead, but Trailblazers equalized minutes later to win the first set 25-23. Trailblazers dominated the subsequent sets, winning the second and third sets by 25-19, 25-21. After the win, Trailblazers moved to the third position behind GSU and KPA, who are the first and second respectively. And to other matters, Kenya's golf team today won the Victoria Cup for 4th time after a comprehensive 21-5 win over Uganda at the Limuru Country Club. The Victoria Cup is modelled on the Ryder Cup that pits Team USA against Team Europe.
Team Kenya defeated Uganda 7-3 in the final round of the singles matches today to clinch the Victoria Cup with a 21-5 points margin as the curtains came down on the annual tournament at the Limuru Country Club. Home players Ebilo Molo, Sami Mulama, Dennis Maara, John Regirma, Daniel Kirago, Mutai Kibugo and Michael Karanga registered victories in contrasting styles, while Chris Andrea, Adel Balala and Andrew Wahome lost their singles matches. The final round matches were reduced to a mere formality after Team Kenya had garnered the requisite 13.5 points on day 2 to reclaim the trophy.
Our heads are high
we are looking forward to going for the All-African Golf Championship in Egypt at the end of September.
I tried to make the team a unit, and I think I succeeded in that.
As you can see by the score, 21 points is a very, very commanding victory, and I give it up to my boys. I'd like to thank my coach. He really brought us together, taught us how to, make the right decisions, and we want to keep working with him.
Following the victory, Kenya has now won the trophy 4 times since the Victoria Cup was launched in 2016. Uganda last lifted the trophy in 2019. The Victoria Cup was donated by the first man to break the 1-hour barrier in the half marathon, that is Moses Tanui, who is now an avid golfer. For Sunday Express, I am Daniel Wahome.
Well, of course, congratulations to Team Kenya for that win. That still brings us to the end of KBC Sports Tonight. Just an update, of course, for the Formula One fans. Hungarian Grand Prix, which was held today, where we had Max Verstappen of Red Bull winning, while the two Mercedes of George Russell and, of course, Hamilton in the second place, meaning that they've improved their chances of finishing at a higher position this season. Well, that's it for me. I'm Richard Munga. Do have a good night, but don't go too far. Serfine Achieng has more.
All right, thank you, Richard Munga, for that sports news. Now we get into our conversation for the night as we talk about online hate speech and efforts that the country is putting in place to be able to tame this particular trend as we edge closer to the August polls. And of course, joining me for this conversation tonight is Danvas Makori, who is a commissioner at the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. Thank you for creating time for us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, fresh from Nakuru, a great peace concert, I must confess, that you had there.
It was quite big, actually. And we were just there for 2 days for peace caravan, and then it did peace concert. It rained, and people still waited until the concert was over, so very good. Yeah, had fun too.
All right. Yeah. Perhaps one would ask, what was your biggest take-home from this, just coming a few days to the August polls? What is it that...
Two things. One, people are quite enthusiastic about the peace on matters election. They came in droves, especially the young people who usually ones are used to cause violence or incited. They were. Number two, there's no appetite for violence. I mean, people, I don't think, generally speaking, we've been across the country, apart from just community engagements that we do and the community dialogues, the peace caravans, like even the big concert we did in Nakuru, people just don't have that appetite anymore. And it's them who putting pressure on the leaders to make sure they don't incite them. So actually, it's a good thing. What we are saying actually ourselves. Yeah,
makes your work easy as a
no, absolutely, absolutely. And actually, for me, our country has grown. I think for me, it's very exciting to see our country growing. Yeah. See, we always say in theory, peace starts with you, but now when you see it on the ground, people really embracing it, people actually championing peace individually, especially in areas where our country has faced challenges in the previous years. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, true. Yeah. The reason actually we have you tonight is just because 2 days ago, you on behalf of the Commission, threatened to recommend a suspension of Facebook in Kenya and gave a 7-day ultimatum. I just want to understand a bit of a background from this because it elicited mixed reactions in the country. Just hearing that Facebook might be suspended in the country. There must have been something that informed that. Tell us a bit about that.
No, there is actually. We have at our commission a social media monitoring unit. It's called MMU, that's how we call it. It's a 12-man team, and all they do is monitor social media, all of them, social media platforms. Prior to this, we as a commission have chosen a collaborative approach with all media companies, including social media platforms. We met with Google last year, we met with Facebook in April, we met with TikTok, Twitter, and even local media houses. We have a lot of partnerships with them. That's why also we come to this, because media is a powerful tool in a democracy, and we've seen it. In that framework of cooperation, one of the things we do and hope is that when there's an issue, you address it quickly. Now, on the local media, as far as it's concerned, you guys have been outstanding. You're doing a fantastic job making sure there's peace message. The challenge comes now with social media platforms. We've had issues whereby when we have insightful videos or messages or posts, there's something called a takedown. They are not being taken down. There's 2 reports that have come out. One, I think, in June. That was very extensive. It was a story, in the Washington Post, actually, and it was. I mean, people were shocked to see. I mean, Facebook had allowed videos, some of them very, very gruesome videos, people being beheaded for 6 years. Facebook become the recruiting ground for extremists in Kenya. It was planned on Facebook and executed on Facebook. And we've raised those issues, especially with the hate speech videos. There hasn't been. So when the report came the other day, actually, that's what we're receiving. Actually, it was so bad that they really couldn't print or give you media to see what the post they had put on Facebook. I mean, it's really bad things that Facebook had allowed. Okay? So we told Facebook, and that's how we had this discussion. I mean, it's high time you do it. Now, my problem with them, our problem with them is this. In the US, in the US and in Europe, there are very stringent measures in place, what you call content moderation. They will not allow those things there. So my question is, if you don't allow it in the US and you're doing it there and in Europe, how comes you're doing it here? There's something called breaking the glass measures. They can, you know how long, we say 7 days, you know how long it will take for them to do it? 3 hours. I know that. So actually it was very general, like, guys, can just do it. They know they can do it.
Is it possible though and practical to to suspend Facebook? Considering that it has like millions of users who majority
in other countries,
in other countries, understand why you're suspending it in the first place.
You see, it's not the way to go. It's not something we want. Okay, it's not something we want. It is something you want to do. But we have a mandate to make sure we have a peaceful election. And if a platform is being used to incite and potentially cause violence, then you must do what you have to do to protect that aspect of it. You understand? So they can do it. See, the challenge where we're coming from is they actually can do it. They just kind of choose not to do it because we've not been firm with them like other countries. So why double standard with them? Because they can do it. They have measures in other countries. You understand? In other countries, actually, some specific social media platforms have been suspended, specific ones, not all of them, when they violate the laws of those countries. Yeah. So why can't they do what other 2 places in this place? That's what we're asking.
Concerns have been raised about that, even just yesterday, I believe it was the Interior CS, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, who in reaction to that was saying we cannot go back to where we've come from as a country, where we are sort of, going back on the gains we've made in freedom of speech. I mean, is that how you look at it?
It's not good for public officials to spat in media. So I won't comment on what he said. But let me just say this on this. My opening statement that day, I started with the Constitution, 33. Article 33 is very clear. We have freedom of speech. Article 34 gives your media houses like yours freedom, of course, to broadcast. But there's a limit. It's not absolute. It's limited to 1. Propaganda, 2, hate speech and incitement. So there's a limit to the freedom of speech, and it's clear in our Constitution. Then our Act defines what hate speech is. That's why I even cited it. So I'm a firm believer. I'm the biggest proponent you can find of free speech, biggest ever. It's sacred. I mean, it's sacred to me if you ask me. But there's a limit. If that free speech is going to cause harm to people, then we need to check it, and that's why the Constitution put given the history of our country. You understand? So absolutely, that's not going back. Actually, it is just it's protecting our Constitution.
All right, Makori, it's 2 days into the 7-day ultimatum. Any action points that you can cite, maybe on the part of Facebook, on your part as a commission, or Global Witness that was part of those who presented this report to you?
I don't know what Facebook is doing. We're supposed to have a meeting with them this week. On our part, we were still firm on it. We still have a mandate. Anything that touches peace is our mandate. We have a full internal report. So what we're doing right now, we monitor these guys 24/7. So we have a full report. I mean, if you see the trash of the trove of data that we've collected in the terms that the things they do, I mean, it's unbelievable. So on their part, I don't know what they're doing. Hopefully, they can actually listen to what we're saying. It was an advice. Just do the right thing. You understand? And it wasn't just a threat. We're just saying we will comment. We don't have a power. It's just a recommendation. So our stance is very simple. Just do the right thing because they can do it. So on our part, we are still waiting to hear from them. We'll meet with them hopefully this week, and hopefully we can resolve this. I mean, we've asked for very simple things, very, very simple things, which they can do.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the uniqueness of the level of hate being spread online.
Yeah.
You know, why does it seem like every effort that is being put in place to fight the online hate speech seems to either it's slow in terms of results, or it's being you know, it's failing?
So there's two things. A uniqueness that we've noticed also as we do investigations is the fact that a lot of people or groups that actually are spewing hate or inciting, actually a number of them in the country to begin with. They're in the US, they're in the UK. And that's why, again, we're telling Facebook, we got to do something about this. Because I can't go arrest somebody who's inciting somewhere in Germany. You understand? Secondly, a lot of people use pseudo accounts, pseudonyms. You yourself, today, if you go on any platform, because you're known, it will be hard for you to spew hate. But you hide under some pseudonym, you create your own fake account, and you push this content. That's part of the challenge. Thirdly, there is the threshold now of evidence, because to investigate this, some of these investigations we've done take months. But by the time you investigate, you track somebody, you discover who they are, and then look for them. I mean, it's months, and take to the court. The threshold is quite high. That is, on the legal side, it is very, very difficult to deal with. You understand? That is why now, you know, it's incumbent upon social media companies to do what is right, even their own guidelines. Do you know that every post that we've had flagged violates Facebook's internal guidelines? Forget about just even their own guidelines. So we're saying, listen, just follow your guidelines. Just do it.
It will make it easy.
It will make it easy because you know, it will be blamed. Okay, what is the NCSC doing? But yeah, that's why we're holding these companies accountable. And I hope they will do the right thing, just like the other platforms which are doing the right thing. Because the other ones, they have a response. Yes, yeah.
Talk to me about you know, the action plan that the Commission launched the other day, and whether in any way, as you take us through the highlights of this action plan, does it address these unique complexities in addressing online hate speech that you've cited tonight?
You know, actually, I'm glad you raised it, because when I mentioned it, a few weeks ago, we did launch the national plan against hate speech, specifically because of the challenges that we know. What we've purposed as a commission is to be proactive, not to be reactive. So we put on mission. This is a plan that jointly we work with the UN, actually. We work with the Special Advisor Against Genocide Prevention at the UN. And within the plan, it's actually, and it's not just a theoretical framework, it's actually a plan. So we identified stakeholders who can help make sure that there is no hate speech in our country, or it's completely eradicated. Of course, your media is important. And then we hope within the plan, the spirit is collaboration. Let us work together. Let us work with the KBC. Let us work together with Twitter. Let us work with Facebook. All of us. Let us work together, because they have their duty. They are stakeholders. They are responsible for that. Now, the legal entities like them, of course, have a different interpretation of that. But for us, we've chosen to be proactive and collaborative with everyone.
All right. Are you looking only at Facebook or other social media platforms as well, in terms of which one is more notorious? Are you looking at all those areas?
Actually, I just got a report I get a weekly report on what's going on all social media platforms. And there is increasing use of TikTok also. We met with them about 2 weeks ago. And they promised to, if there is an issue, is a video that we are concerned about, they'll take it down. Because for it to go viral, it's just a couple of seconds, the whole thing goes viral. And it's so hard to undo that damage. So we do look at them. Twitter the same thing. And the good thing is at least there's a response. Whenever there's a concern, Twitter has been very robust, actually, I would say. Not as they're not there what we want to, I can tell you. But at least you can see there's an effort made. The standards they use in most places is almost similar to what they're using here. So, I mean, you can see somebody's making efforts, and you give credit to HDU. And they've been quite responsive. But we are looking at all of them. I mean, that's why we have a unit that is 24/7 monitoring social media.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, it's just 8 days to the August polls.
Yeah.
In terms of, somebody has to be held accountable.
Yep.
In terms of, responsibility, what do you tell the politicians? What do you tell the electorate? What is it that they are doing that is amiss, and what is it that they are doing that is a hit? Who should do what as we
Let me start with the hit. For the most part, up until maybe this week, 95% of the political class in their rallies have been pretty much peaceful. In the news that you did today, if you look at even what you said about what they were saying, they're talking about issues. So for the most part, they have been doing that. Now we are seeing it generate to personal insults. Now, insults can never win you a vote. And insults, Kenyans are suffering. And as you talked about, there's a lot of people really going through a lot. So you insulting somebody is not helping. So that's the missed part, I would say. For the Kenyans, I mean, it's a few days. Most of them have made up their mind. We've seen many polls coming up. But it's a sobering thing. I mean, I know some of them are really excited, but I think it's a sobering thing for us as country. We're transitioning to a new government. I mean, whoever wins is still a new government that is coming. This administration is gone. I think for Kenya, it's just to admonish them to think, to be sober, to think beyond now, because we are so myopic sometimes and transient, okay? And think 20 years from now, our children and their children, what country would they want? Because you do that, then you choose the right people who do lay a foundation for now, for the future.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. This is a conversation that we should definitely pick up in the near future. Commissioner Danvas Makori from the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. We were talking about strategies that the country is putting in place to tame online hate speech. You've had him there. A call for Kenyans and to the politicians. My name is Serfine Achieng Oma. Thank you so much for watching Sunday Express tonight. Have a good night and God bless.
Kupata kumpenda mtu kama sikiza tune kwenye simu yako, bonyeza star 811 star 398 hash.
Mapenzi si kumpenda mtu kwa kuwa amekamilika, kwani nawe pia una mapungufu yako. Kwa hivyo mapenzi ni kumpenda mtu na mapungufu yake.
Kupata kumpenda mtu, bonyeza star 811 star 398 hash. Star 811 star 398 hash.
Agenda yetu ni kupunguza gharama ya maisha.
He has described himself as a man on a mission.
I am a man on a mission. I have no space to retreat, and I don't have the luxury to surrender.
As a presidential runner in the 2022 elections, he has repeatedly referred to himself as a hustler.
You're the hustler number one.
But who is this man?
President.
William Ruto, through the eyes of the Mwananchi.
Utachonga viazi wewe. Na isitoshe utaosha hata vyombo.
Mimi nioshe vyombo mimi?
Hata unacheza.
Mwanaume mzima mimi nioshe vyombo kwa sababu ya kukula chakula ya hoteli hii mimi.
Wait. What? What? Oh yeah. Mogaka.
kwa ofisi.
Plani umepita.
Tangu lini unawekea mimi michele hivi kama patko? Chukua nyama rudisha huko.
Ni unapenda kusumbua sasa.
Sipendi kusumbua na leta bwana.
Ngo mtu mimi nataka uchafue.
Nani nionyeshaje jina yake sasa hivi?